To find a mate, this little guy risks his life leaving the burrow. But little does he know, his every move is already being secretly watched. Like a ghost, the snowy owl won't give him any chance to escape. Her starving chicks are waiting for her to bring home a catch. Even if his little short legs run as fast as they can, he can't outrun death from above. Just as the snowy owl opens her sharp claws to dive, the little guy goes into overdrive and dashes straight into a female's burrow. Risking his life for a date is the ultimate romantic gesture, but the second they meet, he launches a passionate offensive. However, before coming inside, it's probably best to check if her husband is home first. As the saying goes, first come, first serve. The original husband is incredibly annoyed by this reckless intruder. A fierce battle for love kicks off instantly. Meanwhile, a hungry Arctic fox happens to be passing by. The sounds of their fight underground catch his attention. The Arctic fox shakes his head side to side, using triangulation to pinpoint their location. As we saw before, meadow voles face relentless attacks from three major natural enemies. To survive, they have to stick together. By living with two other companions, their chances of dying actually drop by 2/3. In their tunnels, building blockades also helps prevent sneak attacks from weasels. If they can just hold out until the spring blossoms, they'll make it out alive. As spring arrives, the warm sunlight finally takes over again. The ice and snow melt, and everything comes back to life. The meadow vole also hits the absolute peak of its life. From March to August every year, meadow voles are in their peak breeding season. But to raise 6 babies all at once, a meadow vole needs to eat about twice its own body weight every single day. This means it constantly has to go out foraging. There's a saying, if you want to get rich, build roads first. Running into any obstacle on their little paths could cost them their lives. Because of this, meadow voles have to spend a lot of extra time cleaning up every day. But of course, they aren't the only ones having tons of babies. The great gray owl will actually base the number of eggs she lays strictly on the meadow vole population. This is an incredibly smart survival strategy. For birds, usually both parents will work together to raise the chicks. Because they hatch at different times, the size difference between the babies can be pretty massive. As a mother, she won't go out of her way to feed the smaller chicks, so if the little ones want to survive, they have to fight the bigger ones for food. Even with just a 2-day age gap, the little guy struggles to compete with his older sibling. The full belly he just got is instantly taken away. Under these harsh conditions, it's really tough for the little one to keep going. The mother bird won't really interfere. When food is limited, she has to prioritize feeding the bigger, stronger chicks. This isn't favoritism. It's just the most realistic cut your losses survival strategy out there. 2 weeks go by and the smallest chick has already died, and his body will actually be fed by the owl to the other 2 chicks. As the little guys keep growing, their appetites start becoming absolutely massive. The owl parents both have to hunt at the same time to satisfy their hungry chicks, and meadow voles are still their #1 choice on the menu. By the time they hit 5 weeks old, the chicks' weight skyrockets to around 1 pound. Their daily food intake is huge, meaning they each eat roughly 6 meadow voles every single day. Meadow voles breed pretty much all year round, popping out an average of 5 to 10 litters a year. You could even say that thanks to their amazing breeding skills, meadow voles completely support the great gray owl's entire reproduction cycle. With a steady food supply, the chicks grow super fast. Their hearing and vision are also rapidly developing at the same time. Even though they can't fly yet, the chicks' asymmetrical ears can already pinpoint a meadow vole's exact location, becoming a top-tier hunter just like their mom is only a matter of time. So honestly, you could say that meadow voles are single-handedly sacrificing their lives to raise a nest of ultimate killers. But speaking of rodents, the lemmings out on the Arctic tundra are incredibly tough. When Arctic temperatures drop to sub-zero, very few animals can actually survive here. The raging blizzards leave the Arctic fox freezing and starving, but its neighbor just a meter away is hiding out in a warm burrow, living its best life. The heavy snow acts just like a thermal blanket, perfectly blocking out the bitter cold. The dormant green moss provides the lemmings with plenty of food, and with a full pantry, lemmings will keep breeding even right in the middle of winter. When the blizzard stops, the Arctic fox can easily lock onto its prey's location. But these smart lemmings will actually wait for the storm to hit before mating. Under the cover of the howling wind, it is super hard for the Arctic fox to pinpoint their exact location. This kind of thing seems to be pretty common for the Arctic fox. Once the sounds of a hunt are exposed, alarms quickly spread throughout the burrow. These little guys, who look like they're too scared to even breathe, are actually secretly communicating in a very unique way. These 20 to 50 kilohertz ultrasound waves are completely undetectable, even to the Arctic fox. Through this encrypted intel, they can listen to the movements happening up above while sharing the Arctic fox's real-time location. In order to hunt accurately, the Arctic fox secretly learned magnetic navigation from the red fox. Even though it's a stolen move, it definitely gets the job done. But if this reckless behavior gets spotted by a predator, they are bound to take a serious beating. In order to stock up on food for the winter, lemmings have to go out and gather fresh moss. However, what constantly worries them is a completely invisible danger. Like the great gray owl, the snowy owl is also a type of owl, but its hearing can't penetrate the heavy snow. Instead, it relies on its incredibly sharp eyesight. By bobbing and weaving its head, it uses its eyes and ears to track the lemmings, cross-referencing the data to get a three-dimensional range and lock right onto its prey. The wings, stiff, serrated leading edges slice through the air, while the soft feathers behind them absorb sound and reduce noise. Flying low, it cuts through the sky like a white ghost. Without making a single sound, the lemming dies without even seeing its attacker's face. A freezing blizzard roars in, and the temperature instantly plummets to a terrifying -60 degrees. For herbivores, this is undoubtedly catastrophe. During the winter, when food is scarce, reindeer have to dig up vegetation under the snow to survive. But this behavior brings lethal danger to the lemmings. Lemmings have extremely short tempers, and most of that is thanks to the reindeer. The lemmings' super strong breeding ability leads to large areas of vegetation being completely eaten away. Sometimes, reindeer will deliberately dig up the snow to expose the lemmings' location to the snowy owls. With their nests destroyed, plus raging pregnancy hormones, the lemmings are constantly in a foul, cursing mood. Faced with the female lemming's verbal attacks, the snowy owl just looks helpless. As spring returns, the snow melts, and the droppings left in the lemming nests play a crucial role. This highly nutritious organic fertilizer provides vital nutrients to the tundra's ecosystem. With plenty of food, the lemming population explodes once again. A nursing female lemming has to eat at least 3 times her own body weight every single day. Newly born pups are completely hairless, their eyes sealed shut, relying entirely on their mother's milk to survive. In about 2 weeks, the pups can leave the nest and forage on their own. After 30 days, they reach sexual maturity. The fastest ones can mate and reproduce in just 20 days. This shocking breeding speed would be absolutely fatal to the tundra's delicate ecological balance. But the laws of nature never let things spiral out of control. Just like clockwork, the snowy owls immediately start breeding. Snowy owls are monogamous. If the couple doesn't argue, they can even stay together for life. Just as the lemmings are about to overpopulate, the owl couple hatches their chicks. They have to take turns hunting to make sure their babies are well fed. Since they don't have teeth, the little ones always swallow their food whole. Growing chicks need to eat at least 2 lemmings every single day just to fill their stomachs. The owl parents are constantly on the move, barely managing to satisfy their chicks' massive appetites. During a lemming boom, an area the size of a football field can be crammed with thousands of lemmings, meaning several of them per square meter. If their numbers aren't controlled, the entire tundra will be eaten bare. When the swarm reaches an uncontrollable peak, the pressure from such high density triggers a self-regulation mechanism. Naturally, solitary lemmings are forced into frequent contact, leading to constant fighting and chasing each other away. This long-term survival stress causes their cortisol and stress hormones to skyrocket. At this point, the males stop mating, and females stop going into heat and ovulating. The male's reproductive organs shrink and basically shut down. Food shortages and predators will make the lemmings give up on breeding entirely. Once the plague of lemmings is controlled, the heavily grazed vegetation can finally recover. With the grass providing an endless food supply, the reindeer get restless too. Reindeer are highly polygamous. A male will even hoard dozens of females just for himself to mate with. Their massive antlers are deadly weapons used to fight for mating territory. Only the winning reindeer earns absolute mating rights. But this kind of non-stop day and night breeding is tough even for the strongest reindeer to handle. If nature didn't step in, a sudden boom in reindeer would also pose a lethal threat to the tundra's vegetation. Snowy owls can't control the reindeer population, but the golden eagle certainly can. As an absolute giant among birds of prey, it can single-handedly take down a reindeer. It can even snatch a calf right from under its mother's nose. Over half of baby reindeer will die in their first 2 months, and the golden eagle is undoubtedly the enforcer of ecological balance. Meanwhile, the sharp decline in lemmings means the snowy owl parents can't catch enough food. The smallest chick, not getting its fair share, starves to death. Once the snowy owls realize food is running out, they will actively abandon their weakest chick, and its body will be fed to the larger siblings. This isn't cruelty, it's just a desperate choice for survival. Over the next 3 weeks, the little guys need to gain at least a couple of pounds, or they'll have a tough time surviving the coming winter. Out on the Arctic tundra, not a single creature's existence is pointless. Only through mutual dependence and constant checks and balances can this freezing land continue to thrive.